أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تربية الشخصية القرآنية كيف تكون وما لا تكون developing a Quranic personality, how to be and what not to be. Today is Freedom Day in South Africa, and it marks in some way the liberation of our country and its people from a long period of colonialism and racist minority rule. And the concept of freedom in itself is a distinguishing quality of humanity. Each and every human being has the right to be free. And freedom, when we speak about freedom, it refers to a situation in which an individual is able to make a choice in thought, in behavior or speech, or he or she chooses to avoid doing so, but without violating the right or the freedom of others in the process. From this we can deduce three important points. One, freedom has both the dimension of action or inaction, the choice of action or inaction. In other words, the freedom to do something as well as the free choice not to do something. Secondly, there are limits and restraints to individual freedoms, such that your freedom cannot impinge upon the rights and the freedom of other people. And thirdly, because freedom is a choice, the whole notion of choice, in the absence of choice there's no freedom. Because there's a choice, the individual is then held accountable for his or her actions and for the consequence deriving from their choice of action or inaction. Now in Arabic, the word hur, or freedom, the word is hur. But hur doesn't only mean free, it also means noble. It implies nobility, also a sense of integrity and dignity. And freedom does not exist ever in a vacuum. It never exists in a vacuum, and it can never function without limits. Some people have the idea freedom means to do what you want, say what you want, wear what you want, do what you want, wherever you want, and there's no limits to it. No, freedom does not exist in a vacuum, and it does not function without limits. Islam promotes a type of responsible and dignified freedom, a type of freedom that respects the other. For example, in freedom of expression, it's not the license to utter falsehood or to slander or to lie or to be demeaning or to be rude. Or economic freedom, as an example, it allows people to earn and to own without indulging in fraud, in deception, and in cheating. Islam wants freedom from something and freedom for something. Islam wants freedom for living a happy, a healthy and prosperous life, a moral and a dignified life. Islam wants people to be free to worship, to express themselves, to earn, to have a family, and to have a just government of their choice. Islam wants people to be free from economic, political, and social exploitation and oppression. Hence, in the Quran, you'll find particular terms indicating the dislike and the abhorrence of certain categories of people. For example, the mutrifeen, those who are economically excessive, the zalimeen, the oppressors, taghut, the exploiters of political and social authority and power. Remember that we as people of faith should always be a voice of conscience and always be activists for freedom wherever we find ourselves, and the call for justice. After all, this is part of the mission of prophets. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلُنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْمِيزَانَ لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ بِالْقِسْطِ. Allah says in Surah Hadid, He sent prophets with clarification and clear guidelines in order that humanity at large may live with justice. So at a personal level, at the spiritual level, many people are enslaved either by wants, by emotions, by authority, by position, by possessions. So they're enslaved to it, enslaved by it. Their lives are dictated to by these things. Their emotions, their wants, their authority, their position, their possessions, never satisfied and never free from wanting more of what they want. To free us from such kind of personal, spiritual and moral enslavement, the great spiritual luminary, Ibrahim bin Shayban, he said, and I'll leave you with this, الشرف في التواضع والعز في التقوى وَالْحُرِّيَّةُ فِي الْقَنَاعَةِ. Dignity of a human being lies in his or her humility. Honor of a person lies in righteousness, and freedom lies in being free from want and desire. Freedom comes from being content, and it comes from contentment. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.